David, you should be
Yeah.
ashamed of yourself, what you put your mother through tonight, what you put your fans through tonight. It was the most stressful show that I have watched in any big break. And, I don't have any fingernails left.
Yeah, I don't really either. I knew what was going to happen. I just, it was just one of those things, it was just a tough week, and everybody at some point is going to have them, you know. Even if you win, you still have to go through a couple tough weeks. So I know during my time on the show, I was a little disappointed that I didn't have any money left, but I'm still there, and hopefully it'll make me stronger for future episodes,
Yep.
But it definitely, when I was going against Petey there, it like when I know they edited me, they said that it was a really easy decision. Knowing what happened to John and Petey the next morning, when they woke up, went straight into the Elimination Challenge, I knew that it was a really easy decision for me to buy that extra half a shot, making it a full shot, and it ended up paying off, literally.
No, absolutely. Well, before we get into the clutch putts and the uh, some of those shots that we witnessed, let's go back and talk about the way the day started. I'm just curious, do you guys sit around at night and talk about what you expect the next day to be? Because given we had a player come back, did you not think at some point there must be a double elimination coming up?
Well, we knew there was going to be a double elimination. We just didn't know how or why or how it was going to go about, But we knew, the producers kept on, there's an emphasis on the money is going to be a big deal. And up to right now, it's just all of a sudden, all it is ranking, and you just have to go out and beat the person you're playing against. So waking up for John and Petey going straight to the Elimination Challenge, it was definitely threw us for a loop. But I believe Kent said it like, hey, we knew that it was important. Now we know why. Because everybody was just buying half a shot carelessly. Or maybe not, but, I bought it carelessly. My whole thought was just stay on the show, And now this is kind of where it would kind of backfire. But looking at the show now, I think it was very fair that Petey kind of had to go through all these different elimination challenges and whatnot just to get back on the show and thrown right into one right away because he was already off the show. So if he was to go on and to win, it wouldn't be fair if it was kind of back to normal and back in with the group. He needed to kind of have a disadvantage even though he worked his way back on the show.
Yeah, no, I think that's very fair. Well, seeing John there, putt 3-putt after 3-foot putt after 3-foot putt, that took a long time. How long did you guys have to sit and watch that 3-putt competition? 3-foot putt?
It went on for quite a while. They did a really good editing job there, but it went on for a while. But I know that we've talked about the different strategies you would take, and I personally love John's strategy. Just wear the guy out, 3 feet, and keep on going. And I thought it would end up paying off. It didn't. But obviously the next question would be, well, he's putted so well the whole entire show. Why wouldn't he step back and make a couple longer ones? But he knew what he was doing, and he was in control of what he was doing, and he's pretty good at that long wand of his. So I never really questioned what he was doing. But Petey got up there and stepped up, and Petey's. I was thinking of even before you called me here and we did this interview. Petey's putter has saved him and also killed him on the show. He's missed a lot of putts and made a lot of putts. So it was interesting to sort of watch Petey make these putts, knowing what was going to happen, kind of at the end of the show.
Yeah. Well, I was surprised just in general with this series how many long putters have shown up. Oren had one. John uses one. Petey uses one. You see them around, but the odds of 3 people all using them on the big break just surprised me.
Right, I agree. And it honestly, when I was on the show, it really didn't hit me until a couple of days in, and I was like, man, everybody's using these long putters. When you see on the tour now, so many guys using them. But for me, I'm just kind of out of amateur golf and out of college. You just don't see a lot of them.
No.
And but the way John putts with that long wand is pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, they say it does give them an advantage, and sometimes we see that, but obviously it
Yep.
didn't work for him at the very end there, so no more Music Man, I guess. But he was
I
such a
know it was
strong player.
tough to see him go.
Well,
Tough to see him go.
it's tough to see a lot of them go. This is a tough show,
Yeah.
I tell you. Well, let's talk about then, the start of the second half of the show where you guys had the immunity challenges. When did those all get to start during the day? Was it after lunch or?
Yeah, it was about midday, but I think sometime around noon, because we woke up and we went, right into Petey and John's thing there.
Mhm.
And I think it was about noon or 1 we kind of got going because with, with 6 guys now, things moved along a little bit faster and things were getting set up a little bit more. And but I think it was about midday because there's still a lot of things that had to happen, for the day's events to kind of conclude.
Yeah.
But it was about midday, yeah.
Yeah, but did you get to practice just before the competition started, or was the first practice or last practice?
Yeah, we did our usual, 10, 15 minutes on the range, 15, 20 minutes on the range, and then kind of hurry up and wait, our hurry up and wait thing. But that's all part of being on a show and having the opportunity to play what we were playing for. But, yeah, we all practiced and we warmed up, and I forget the hints they gave us to practice, but we all kind of figured, we were like, we know something's going to happen. We kind of figured all facets of our game would be tested. So we definitely we were expecting sort of a bunker shot because we really didn't hit any yet.
Mhm.
We a 130-yard shot we've kind of been the staple of the show. So we all had our 15 to 20 minutes to practice, and then the nerves take over.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk about that immunity challenge and the 220-yard drive. Carl, Kent, and Will nailed it. Then right after the 130-yard, they all missed it, and that just really shocked me that happened. Just talk me through that immunity challenge from your perspective.
The drive was fairly. I mean, all you had to do was hit it over 220 yards and put it in the fairway.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pretty disappointed. I didn't really realize how close I was to going back in the fairway. I mean, I was a foot or two
Mm-hmm.
from being back in the fairway and
Yep.
and getting 2 points going to elimination challenge. Like, you know what I mean? So it that 1 foot could have ended up saving me from going to elimination challenge and all that stuff. But that's the big break and that's golf. But I was definitely really disappointed to miss the fairway because I've always kind of said, during my time on the show, I like the way I drive the golf ball. Generally, I'm a decent driver of the golf ball. But when they got up there, the 3 of them, and all hit it in the fairway, it wasn't unexpected, but you also think, hey, it's easy to kind of tug one or to push one out to the right,
Mm-hmm.
given the fact there's so much pressure and nerves are on the line.
Mm-hmm.
But, I think the big momentum shift for us was when I think both Pete and I hit it inside of 21 feet, and they all missed, and we had the advantage. And I remember thinking, going to the bunker challenge, like if we were to win, it would change the whole entire face of the game.
Mm-hmm.
A guy on the top end of the money list would be gone. All of his money would go to the house. It would completely change the game. And the way it all played out was pretty interesting because watching those 3 guys hit their bunker shots, all of them, hit it. They did their job. They got it inside 8 feet, barely, or 9 feet, but barely. And I thought I played my shot the exact same as those guys, and I kept on running and going. It was like a Duracell battery. Kept on going and going and going. And I remember after the shot I hit, I was so disappointed. And that was the first time in the competition where I was really, pretty ticked, just because I thought I hit a good shot. I thought I hit the exact same shot that Carl and Kent and Will all hit,
Yep.
kind of getting out of the bunker and rolling. And it, for some reason, just kept on going and going. So that was definitely an interesting challenge because anything could have happened. They didn't really have an advantage being the 3 money leaders. They're just 3 individual golfers who we could easily beat. And I know Petey alluded to it. All we have to do is beat these guys, and we're safe and on to the next show. But that didn't happen.
Yeah, well, them missing that the 130-yard shot, all 3 of them was quite a shocker. I think Tom actually said it was a dismal performance by the guys who were on the top of the leaderboard. But yeah, it's funny how those things happen in this show. You know, the unexpected should always be expected. So speaking of unexpected,
Exactly, yeah.
talk about that elimination a little bit. You know, what were you going through? The emotional roller coaster must have been unbelievable.
Yeah, my emotional roller coaster tonight was unbelievable, and I've known what's happened for the last 5 or 6 months. It's just, again, it's just, looking back, it's such an amazing learning experience, how to deal with nerves and whatnot. The 120-yard shot, where the pin was located, I was in between pitching wedge and gap wedge, and I was like, you know what, I got some adrenaline, hit a hard gap wedge, and put it on the green, you know, 2-putt, make him make birdie, and, you know, just go at something hard, because if I was going at something easy, I'm not going to have much spin on it, and it's going to, you know, as you saw Petey's, his last 3-iron, everything runs way right off of next to that pin. So that's why, I mean, I aimed left. I had a little bit higher hopes than hitting it short of the green from 120 yards, but it was such a nail biter. You know, I hit the hybrid shot again, and I did not expect that little hybrid bump and run pitch putt, whatever you want to call it, to break that much left. And I ended up, you know, Petey ended up missing his short putt, and I made my long one. And I, you know, I was like, okay, you know, I got 2 shots, and I'm in an okay position, but Petey's a pretty solid ball striker. And, you know, then he ends up getting enrolled in that one from, you know, 20 or 25 feet, and I made 3. So it was one of those matches where every shot was so crucial. You know, and I know my little 4 left line when I hooked the hybrid, but I hate to be that guy, but before I went on the show, I got that hybrid sent to me, and I asked it to be 1 degree open, and it was sent to me about, you know, after the show I got it fixed. It's all fixed now, and I still use it, but it was 3.5 degrees closed, and that's kind of, I really didn't have a chance to hit the golf ball on the green. I just didn't have any other club that would get there, and my 3-wood would be, you know, 30 yards over the green. So I just kind of said, you know, hit it and trust your short game and try to get up and down, and go from there. But it was definitely tough to watch me hit the ball left with the same club twice in an elimination challenge. So I know, you know, my first thought, you know, before this week was going to be out televised was like, man, people are going to think I'm just awful. But you know what, it was actually an okay swing. You know, I don't think I would have hit it to 2 feet, but it was a pretty solid swing, both of them. I just really didn't have a chance. The club was just closed because of the way it was kind of made going into it. So looking back, actually, at how it all ended, with me getting up and down off of that downhill lie sort of thing, making an 8-footer to kind of win. It was kind of cool because I think back of growing up and being out at Sutton Creek. I know I said it on the show, being out at Sutton Creek, my home course, chipping and putting, and getting up and down to win, or with all the games you play as a kid. It was kind of fitting for me to stay on the show, I guess, when you look at it that way, because I've always been a decent putter with the golf ball. So seeing that putt go in was a big relief for me tonight. Even though I already knew it went in, I always question myself, hey, do I actually stay on the show or do I go? I leaned over to my girlfriend. I kind of gave her a sneak peek with a couple minutes left to go, and I was like, I think I stay. And she goes, well, you told me that I shouldn't worry, and I was like, well, I think I stay. So I began questioning myself a little bit, but all is good. Still on the show.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's all I can ask for.
Yep. Yeah. Well, it is certainly left us all kind of going, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Next week is the next week, and you're going to be facing, Carl and Shank and, Kent. We haven't even seen Kent in elimination. It's about time. Somebody else got
No, I
to
know.
have the glory.
He's hitting the shots.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ken's hitting the shots, and it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out here. But next week again, the show, the Golf Channel does such an amazing job at picking these challenges, and they're done, I guess, months ahead of time with how these challenges are worked or whatnot. But they do such an amazing job of any decision you make in the show could help you or hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
And next week, I mean, I'm sure that we'll see that, and there'll be a little bit more of a twist on things.
Mm-hmm.
But I look back and I'm interested to see. I try to kind of keep an eye on these, like the Big Break Facebook page and things like that, just to kind of, just to see what people are saying. I don't mind people calling me out or saying anything bad about me. I think it's kind of fun and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But I'm interested to see how people take me versus PD, me buying the stroke and staying safe, but PD also had a chance to come back, and he went home, but he actually kind of, he beat me by a shot if I didn't buy the shot. So I'm interested to see how people, the viewers, the public, handle the elimination challenge tonight, just because, PD really shouldn't have been back, and people also think people shouldn't be buying half a shot. So it was definitely a made-for-TV night, and I'm interested to see the sort of feedback I get from people who aren't my friends, because all my friends loved it. All my friends said, "Oh, I think it was great you bought that shot. It was fantastic." But it'll be fun to kind of hear what the viewers think and to see what next week entails.
Well, I guarantee you, if they were in your spot and they had a chance to buy a shot, they'd buy 3 of them. So don't you worry about that.
I agree. I agree.
Well, David, this has been a real pleasure. I'm so glad I'm talking to you and smiling at the same time that you're still here. And I'm really looking forward to talking to you next week. The countdown is coming. We've only got a couple of shows left, and 3
weeks left, 3 shows left. So yeah. I'm hoping to hang around another week.
Yeah.
I promise you it won't be easy because I'm on the last on the money list again for like the last about 4 weeks here. But I'm hanging on. I'm a grinder. I've always said that. That's what I said going into the show. Never kind of count me out. So,
yep.
Gonna keep on fighting and grinding and see what ends up happening here.
Okay. Well, I'll be there right with you, cheering you on, and looking forward to talking to you next week. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.